a key ally, stepping back. Italy suspends its defense agreement with Israel, halting a decades-long military partnership amid the Gaza war. Weapons, cooperation, billions in deals, now under review. This isn't just policy, it's a signal, and it could reshape Europe's stance on Israel. Italy has pulled back from one of its most significant military partnerships, suspending the automatic renewal of its defense agreement with Israel. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni announced the decision, speaking at the Vinatali event in Verona, citing the current situation in Gaza.
The Italian government, considering the situation we are experiencing, has decided to suspend the automatic renewal of the defense agreement with Israel.
The agreement is a memorandum of understanding signed in 2003, covering military cooperation, arms transfers, and defense procurement. It has been renewed every 5 years, with the next renewal due on June 8th. Over the years, the two countries have traded significant military hardware under the Pact, including Rafale Spike missiles, surveillance jets, and training equipment worth over $1 billion. The move had been anticipated. Earlier this year, Italian legal experts urged the government to block renewal, arguing the pact conflicts with Italy's constitution, which renounces war, and with ICC arrest warrants issued against Israeli leaders over the Gaza conflict. Meloni also addressed Washington directly, pushing back at US President Donald Trump over his recent remarks about the Pope, calling them unacceptable, and expressed solidarity with Pope Leo XIV.
What I said is what I think. Those statements, particularly regarding the pontiff, were unacceptable. I expressed, and continue to express, my solidarity with Pope Leo. I'll tell you more. Frankly, I would not feel at ease in a society where religious leaders do what political leaders tell them to do, let's say, not in this part of the world.
Italy has now joined a growing number of European governments reassessing their military ties with Israel. Whether this suspension becomes permanent remains an open question. A major shift is unfolding in global defense ties as Israel moves to cut off military procurement from France, once one of its closest partners amid growing tensions over the war with Iran. In a decision that marks a dramatic break from decades of cooperation, Israel has announced it will halt all defense purchases from France. The move comes as Israeli officials accuse Paris of adopting a hostile stance, particularly during a period of heightened conflict in the region. Major General Amir Bahram, Director General of Israel's Ministry of Defense, confirmed the decision in a televised statement.
The decision was part of a broader effort to reduce cooperation with countries that take steps against Israel. The government would instead rely on the local defence industry and suppliers in friendly countries.
The announcement follows a series of disagreements between the two countries. On March 31st, France declined to allow Israeli-bound aircraft carrying American military supplies to pass through its airspace. The decision drew criticism from Donald Trump, who publicly accused France of being unhelpful during a critical phase of the conflict. Israeli officials have also pointed to broader concerns, including France's support for calls at the United Nations for an arms embargo on Israel, its recognition of a Palestinian state in September 2025, and restrictions placed on Israeli firms participating in defense exhibitions in Paris. Meanwhile, French officials have expressed regret over the decision, but downplayed its consequences. A spokesperson for the French Ministry of Armed Forces stated that exports of offensive weaponry to Israel had already been significantly reduced since 2024.
France's policy is guided by international law and the need to prevent escalation in the region. Our decisions on arms exports and airspace use are made on a case-by-case basis, in line with our commitments and humanitarian principles.
Data from French parliamentary reports shows that authorized dual-use exports to Israel fell sharply to around $88.8 million in 2024, marking a significant decline from previous levels. On the issue of airspace, the Élysée Palace clarified that there is no blanket ban on US military flights and that requests are reviewed individually. For Israel, French betrayal is nothing new. In 1967, Charles de Gaulle abruptly imposed a total arms embargo on Israel during the Six-Day War, refusing to deliver 50 Mirage 5 jets for which Israel had already fully paid. A traumatic rupture that forced Jerusalem to build its own indigenous aerospace industry from scratch. The breakdown in defense ties comes at a time when France is also facing internal challenges within its own military programs. The country will now bear the full cost of developing the Rafale F-5 fighter jet after a planned co-financing agreement with the United Arab Emirates collapsed. The dispute centered on access to sensitive technologies, particularly in the field of optronics, which Paris refused to share, leading Abu Dhabi to withdraw from the partnership. Initially, Abu Dhabi had been ready to contribute up to 3.5 billion euros to a program estimated at around 5 billion euros. The collapse of negotiations now leaves France bearing the full cost, with expected delays in development and delivery. Analysts also suggest that UAE may have calculated that siding with friend Israel by cutting the deal with Paris keeps Tel Aviv happy, avoiding any optics of European pressure on Israeli tech transfers, was worth more than the strategic deepening ties. The Rafale F-5 program, expected to enter service around 2033, represents a significant technological advancement, incorporating next-generation systems and integration with combat drones. However, without external funding, France now faces increased financial pressure and potential delays in development,